Hey everybody, it's still 28 degrees here in Italy. Unbelievable, it's still summer. Apparently next week it's going to start raining, but for now, excuse the sunglasses, it's just too bright. Some of the new guys in the portfolio are actually doing well, others not so much, but I'm always looking for new people to copy, and one of you, the viewers, actually left me a comment with the trader's suggestion, someone who I might want to copy. So I went and looked over this guy's stats, looked over his charts. I decided I'd copy him with a certain amount of money, tried to copy him, and I got this error message. Trader cannot be copied. 123 Autobus has reached the maximum AUM, assets under management. That's if you get all of the money from all of the people who are copying him, put that money together, that's the amount of assets he has under his management. It's also known as assets under copy on Etoro. So he's reached the maximum AUM allowed for popular investors at this level, and therefore is blocked from gaining new copiers. He's literally got so much money copying him at the level he's at that they're saying, whoa, whoa, that's enough for the level you're at. So what level's he at? So going over to his profile here, Cresme, he's a blue star popular investor. This trader is a cadet popular investor. Cadet being the first level on the popular investor program. Okay, so coming over to the popular investor program, we can actually see on this useful chart there are four tiers, four levels to the popular investor program. Our guy is here, cadet level, the blue star. Then you've got champion with the red star, elite with the green star, and the highest level is elite pro with the black star. So our guy's obviously on cadet level. He doesn't get a monthly payment. He doesn't have to have any minimum monthly assets under copy, amount of money copying him. Doesn't matter at the moment for Etoro. He has to have 1,000 equity in his account, $1,000. He has to have one copier, and the minimum time he stays on that level, minimum time, is 2 months. Okay, so I went and asked him, what's this about? I'm getting this error message that I can't copy you because you've reached your maximum AUM. And I can't see anything about a maximum AUM here. So I just went and asked him. It's social trading, we can ask these guys. So here's what I wrote. Hi again, any idea how long it'll be until you're at the next champion level of the popular investor program and can have more copiers? Because that's what I'm thinking. They're waiting till he can go up to red, then they'll release that AUM, allow him to have more assets copying him, and there we go. Maybe I can copy him then. It's saying that you've reached your max AUM for the cadet tier. Yes, it will take time to be champion, he says. I am now on cadet tier and the max AUM is $500,000, $500,000 that I reached 2 weeks ago. So he's already reached $500,000 2 weeks ago. My AUM exploded really fast. I think that the $5 million will be reached fast too. I think I'll get the champion in the next month. So as I thought, he's waiting to go up to the next tier so that he can actually have more people copy him, have a higher AUM. So I'm wondering, when's that going to be? How long is it going to be? So I looked back at that chart that we were looking at before. We can see that he has to spend at least 2 months, minimum time on level, 2 months on the cadet level tier before he can move on to the champion tier. Now I know he's already got at least one copy, and I'm assuming he's got at least $1,000 in his trading account. So I'm thinking there's no other thing which he has to meet, no other requirement. It's only a time deal. So then I tried to work out how long's he actually been on the cadet level so far. So we go back to his timeline. I did a little research and I found this. On his timeline, it is with great pleasure that I announce to you that I have passed my popular investor application. Many have eagerly awaited it. Now more people can copy me. I'm so happy. Have fun. Congrats, bro. More congratulations. 3 months ago, he became, from what I can see here, a cadet level popular investor. He got onto the first rung of the popular investor program. Now I can't see any other requirements. He's got one copy. I'm sure he had that pretty quickly. And there we are. He had probably had $1,000 in his account. The only other stipulation, the only other requirement seems to be that 2 months at the level of cadet level popular investor. That's 3 months ago. So I'm wondering, why is he not on the champion level yet? I don't know, but he hasn't said. So I instantly thought, oh no. So we'll see. I'm just going to wait and watch. He's on watch list. So I'll keep an eye on him and check back and see when I can actually copy him. So let's have a look at why I decided to copy him in the first place. So here on the overview page, we can see that his return year to date is 45%, which is enormous. Return 2 years, 132%. His risk score is at 3. Here we can see a little chart here from 1 to 10. That's where it goes. If you're a popular investor, you have to make sure it stays at 7 or under. And at the moment, over the last 7 days, he's been at a risk score of 3, which is really good. Profitable weeks, 77.78%. Over here, we can see, hello, dear copies and followers. You can expect interesting copy trading from me, preferably with Forex. Now, I've seen from his actually stats, he's always trading Forex. This guy is a Forex trader. I'm aiming for a return of 30 to 40% per year, which is enormous. That's an enormous return. The monthly target is 3% per month. If the month is bad, a positive return is aimed for. The max drawdown I accept is 40%. Now, 40%, you know me, normally I'm setting my copy stop loss at around 15%, and that's much more than I'm used to, but I sort of kept looking at him. I looked at his statistics, and you'll see. So drawdown phases are rare or usually low. Losses are usually offset by profits very quickly. The trading style is very calm. The trades last between a few hours and a week on average, which is true. I've looked at his stats and the results are intended to build wealth in the long term. He is neither fearful nor greedy. By copying, you're aware of the general market risks. I recommend setting the copy stop loss to 100%. So he basically recommends setting no copy stop loss, which for me, I can't do that. Different people are happy with different amounts of risk. It's not what I'm happy with. Why he says that is a stop loss that is too low could get in the way with my trading style. So, you know, he's anticipating big drawdowns in the future. So you've got to bear that in mind, all right? Whenever I copy someone, whenever I look at someone, I'm bearing in mind how they actually trade. It's no use being fanciful and thinking it's going to be different. If he says that his maximum drawdown he accepts is 40%, I have to log that and adjust how much I'd copy him with, how much risk I'm willing to take accordingly. But looking at his stats, let's go onto the stats page and just have a look at him. What can we see? We can see 4 years, which are all profitable. So 5 years really, but this doesn't really count. 0.32% on the first year, it's just in December. Then we've got 32% in 2020, 29% in 2021, 24% last year, where many people lost money. So there we are, in choppy waters and difficult conditions, he's continuing to make money in a massive, whopping 45.14% so far this year, with nothing but green months, you see. Now, we see down here, if we go to his risk score, average risk score over the last 7 days is 3, but looking at his risk, we see average 4, max 6, average 7, max 7, average 3, max 7. We can see that there's sort of this average risk score which is quite low, but it's punctuated there. Look, average 4, max 7, average 6, max 7. It's shooting up to 7 fairly frequently. So we have sort of averagely low risk trading punctuated by extremely sort of high risk or high volatility periods, with a yearly drawdown of 37%. So that 40% drawdown, you know, that has come into effect in the last year. Now, that says 37% as a drawdown, but here we can't see a 37% loss anywhere. Greatest loss we can see in a month is 8.61%. We can't see sequential losses, loads of red, which might lead to that. So where is that loss hiding? Now, a drawdown is not the same thing as a loss. A loss, you have to close the trade and lock in those losses. A drawdown happens when you keep the trades open, they're losing for a certain amount of time, but then they turn around again. So let's say we start April and we've got this much money, $10, and we end April with $12. That's great. April will show that we made $2 profit. But what happens if during April there was a terrible downturn? So during April, maybe that went down and down. It went all the way down to $5, $4, $3, $2, but then it turned around again and came up to $12 by the end of the month. The month of April will only show from here to here, a little green bar. It won't show any sign of this massive drawdown. To see the drawdowns, we go to a different page. We go over to the chart, which will show what happened in the month, in between the times where the profit was logged. And here we are. So let's look at here. This is 23rd of November. So from the 1st of December, it goes all the way down. By the 18th of December, we've gone down from 10,000 all the way down to 6,621. That's a huge drop. That's where that 30% loss is coming in, or drawdowns coming in. But before December ends, look at it, we're now on the 24th of December, we're back up, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th. Do you see what I mean? So 1st of December, we're there. End of December, we're actually there. So look, that's what the stats page is going to show. But this is the drawdown that actually happened in that month. And we can see that there are drawdowns, but they're getting much smaller. So there's this pattern. Here was that huge drawdown, which is a very big kind of anomaly. But then we've got this steady sort of going upwards, lovely slope, punctuated still by these higher risk episodes. Now, I didn't know exactly what was going on, and I thought maybe it was dollar cost averaging. Sometimes when a trader on the way down, instead of closing the trade here, they'll actually buy more of the trade on the way down, so that their average buy-in price for that asset gets lower and lower and lower. So they buy here, then they buy there, then they keep buying on the way down, so that when the trade turns around, they've got it at a much lower price and they can get out of it profitably as quickly as possible. And when I asked him about this, if he's using dollar cost averaging, at first he thought thought I was being a bit rude or something, and I had to convince him that I'm not at all. His trading style is amazing. His stats have actually really worked. Look at this. Look how well he's doing. He's already got $500,000 copying him, and he's at cadet level. It's obviously really working, but I've got to understand, is he planning for 40% drawdowns in future? Where should I set my copy stop loss? He's saying set it to 100%. I'm not going to do that. Should I set it to 42%? Has he changed his style at all since this occurrence happened? Because I had seen this occurrence and I asked him specifically about this. I just wanted to know the facts, that's all. And eventually he understood that. He understood I wasn't trying to be rude or something, and he answered very kindly actually. Okay, so here's his answer. The 40% drawdown actually came from the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar long, which is where he's buying the Australian dollar against the New Zealand dollar, which ran from November 22 to January 2023, which is when we saw that drawdown. Although I didn't attach great importance to the event, I still took the conclusion to adjust the risk so that the event would not repeat itself again if possible. In 2023, I actually had hardly any such drawdowns anymore, which is what we can see on his chart. There are drawdowns, but they're much shallower, much smaller. As the trades were placed more specifically and with higher volatility, trading was now carried out over a longer time frame, as was currently the case at the end of September. So there we are. He has actually adjusted his methods going forward, and we can see that in his statistics. We can see it on the chart that things have changed. How useful it is to be able to sort of just talk to people on Etoro. So back on his stats page, what else can we see from this? He's got 99 copiers. There we are. He's sort of locked there. That's how many I guess he can have. He's reached his maximum AUM, and 300k to 1 million. So there we are. He says he's at 500,000. He's reached that maximum. Minus one copy in the last 7 days. Someone actually got out. 265 total trades. 100% currencies. These are the currencies he's normally trading. The Australian dollar against the New Zealand dollar, Australian dollar against Canadian, and New Zealand dollar against Canadian. Profitable majority on most of them. They're 80% profitable overall, it says here. 5.3 trades per week, 3 days holding time. Let's see what he's actually trading at the moment. He's got one buy open at the moment. New Zealand, no, actually, hold on. If we click into it, so there we are. He's got 3 of these trades open. Buy New Zealand dollar against Canadian dollar. 1 open yesterday, 2 open today. I can't copy him though. So what would I do if I was going to copy him? Well, he said sort of set 100% copy stop loss. Elsewhere in his feed, he said, well, just set it to 50%. Don't worry too much. Here in his bio, we did see that the maximum drawdown I accept is 40%. Now I'm going to take him in his word for that. I'll set my stop loss at copy stop loss at 42%. So what I've got to work out is, because that's more than I'd normally set, and that's like, for me, that's enormous, you know. But what I can work out, I can just adjust, and I can say, right, so how much money do I have to copy him with so that if he does lose 40%, it's an amount that I'm sort of is acceptable to me. I'm happy with that amount. Going back to my portfolio, we take someone like Salesh, who's actually in profit. Well done, Salesh. I'm copying with $800, and we've got a 20% copy stop loss on that, which works out at about $160. So how much would I have to copy this new guy with, so that $160 would be 40%. If I did lose 40%, it would equal $160. Turns out it's about $400. If I do risk $160, 40%, what percentage of my portfolio would that be? So my whole portfolio size, I've got about $4,500 in my portfolio. So 1% would be $45. So actually $160 would be around 3.5%. 3.5% of my portfolio would be what I'd be risking if I put a 40% copy stop loss on him and I copy him with $400. 3.5% is fine. That's as much a good amount that I'm willing to risk on any one of the traders that I'm copying. As for the rest of the portfolio, I'll do an update in a couple of days or so, and we'll see how it's all going. We'll see if I can take more money out from Slow and Steady and whether I want to move any of these around. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any other suggestions for people who I can copy, maybe our sun's gone down. If you've got any other people I can copy, please let me know, and please go watch that last video and give it a like. Hugely helpful. And this one, hugely helpful when you like the videos, because you know, I wasn't making videos for a while. I wasn't very well. I had to stop making videos for a while. So if you could help out, it really restarts the channel, gets more people to see it, and gets the algorithm to like it. So thank you very much, and cheers for watching. Hope you're in the green. Hope you're doing well. See you. Bye bye.